Om Shanti. Once again, we will say laughfully, Om Shanti. Good. Now the third time, let the soul sit on its seat and smile. So we'll say smilingly, Om Shanti. Good. Today we're going to have some sharing of experience on Carefree Emperor stage. How many of you heard the last Murli which Babdada spoke on 15th of December? No one. A few. Yeah, good. What was the main gist of the Murli? Baba spoke on which subject primarily? Carefree stage. Befikr. What do we need to have to experience carefree stage? What do we need to have and what do we need to leave? If you want to have always a smiling face, which is our memorial as deities, we are going to be deities in the near future? Yes? How much time? The Indian TV has started, doing a countdown. They said that the destruction is going to come in 364 days from now. Yesterday, a brother was watching the TV and they spoke exactly 1 year from now, 21st December 2012 is the D-Day as per the Mayan calendar. Do we know that? How many of you know this? That as per the Mayan calendar, the world comes to an end on 21st December 2012. This question is asked time and again to our seniors, including Brother Nirvair. And we always give a very plain, simple answer. Yes, the Maya will definitely have its last day on 21st December 2012. The world may not. Because Baba's versions are, जब सबके मुख पर हाँ होगी, तब ड्रामा में ना होगी. When everybody will say, yes, yes, world is coming to an end on so-and-so date, it will not happen. And then Baba says, जब सबके मुख पर ना होगी, तब ड्रामा में हाँ होगी. When everybody will say, no, 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 now it cannot end. And that's the time it is suddenly going to end. So nothing is going to happen on 21st December, be sure. Some things may happen before or later, but on that day nothing will happen. Even though the televisions, the news readers are going to pick up more and more of strength in loudly announcing, because as the Indian TV has started, today they say 364 days, tomorrow they say, okay, 363, 62, 1, 60, 300, 200, 199. Yes, sister. Ask, come on. You got a question? Okay. So, as per Babdada's version, anything can happen at any time. But he doesn't warn us about the exact time. He gives a general warning that time is really falling short, is moving very fast, and anything can happen at any time, but he never says anything will happen at so-and-so time. That is 21st December 2012. So it's good that we must ensure that the Maya really dies by that day, latest. From our life, it should die right now, because that is only is causing us worries. If you want to be carefree emperors, we need to be free from all the bondages of Maya, from all the weak thoughts. That's how Bapdada defined. He talked about Sunday, there are two very special days in a week. One is today, that is Thursday, and the second one is Sunday. Sunday is a holiday actually, though as per Lord Christ, he called it the holy day. But the word holy day has changed into holidays, and we take leave on Sunday. So Baba said that you must take leave from all the weaknesses of life. And the primary weakness is that of waste thoughts. Waste thoughts keep taking a lot of our time. It is actually number of thoughts make time. Otherwise there is nothing like time on this earth. We conceive time as a measure of so many thoughts. And if they are waste thoughts, it consumes too much of time. So we must take leave from the waste thoughts. And on Thursday, what has happened? Why Thursday is famous? Today morning we had an experience, we had a nice message. What happens on Thursday? Yes, anybody can stand up and speak. Today is also a Thursday. What happens on Thursday? We offer bhog? Why do we offer bhog on Thursdays? Many people ask us. Why do we offer bhog on Thursday? Please, khade ho jaiye, boliye. Why? Day of the Sadguru, yes, that's very good. Any other reason? Why do we offer bhog on Thursday? What does Sadguru do? What does he do? Can you stand up and say? Kya bolta hai? Meet Father. Okay. Yes, anybody else? What does a Sadguru or preceptor do? We have three relations with Baba: Father, Teacher, and Sadguru. What does the preceptor or a Sadguru do? Father gives you inheritance. The teacher gives you knowledge. What does the Sadguru do? What does he do? Guides us. Okay. What else? Guides us to what? He guides us to Mukti Dham and Jivan Mukti Dham. He bestows Mukti and Jivan Mukti to us. He guides us to the doors of the Mukti Dham, how to go back home. That's what the Sadguru does. And how to come in once again into the golden age. So the two blessings which a preceptor gives is to guide us to go back home, totally detached from this earth, and then come back on this earth and enjoy Jivan Mukti. All those who are enjoying Jivan Mukti in golden age, how do they look like? How do the deities look like? What is the difference between a deity and a human being? They are human beings like us. What happens to a deity when you draw a picture or you draw the picture of a human being, normal? What is the primary difference? Yes. Both the body and soul are pure, good. But how does it look in the drawing? Yes, that's one thing. What else? Crown, two crowns, double crown. What else? Crowns many people have today, but they are so unhappy, distressed. I know the ex-rulers of India, many of them. And there are rulers in our neighboring country, Nepal. Everybody is so frustrated. How do the deities look like in Golden Age? They are always seen happy, smiling. You will never see a deity who doesn't smile. And that is the main attraction of the Golden Age. Why should we go to the Golden Age? So that we can be always smiling. Why should you visit Madhuban every year? To recharge. What else? To see your brother souls, brothers and sisters who are Madhuban Nivasis, they always smile. You also always smile. All Brahmins are supposed to always smile. But when we go back to the world, some effect of Maya comes. And then we are looking worried. There were some army generals who came for a program in Mount Abu, and they met Bab-Dada, VIPs. There was an air marshal, there were 2 major generals, there was a captain of the navy and all that, top notches. And that general, he was narrating his experience in class. We asked him, sir, you must tell something in the class. What did you observe special here? He says, the first thing which I have observed here during last 4 days is that everybody smiles 24 hours. Whenever you see anyone, he doesn't look worried. Everybody is a carefree emperor. Even there's a brother, you have to observe, who starts working at 9:30 p.m. His name is Vijay. Okay? Now you have to look for him. He works in the kitchen. And his working hours start at 9:30 every day. Have you ever observed when you go back after dinner, we leave the dining halls in shambles. Everything is a bit dirty. When you come in the morning at Amrit Vela for tea, do you find your tables absolutely shining bright? What magic happens overnight? There are no laborers available. Everybody sleeps. Does God come and clean up all those tables and dining halls and everything around? All your utensils which have been thrown around here and there, everything is in order. There is hot water available. And the dining halls are clean. Dining tables are absolutely shining bright. What happens? Magic after 10 p.m. till 3 a.m. Now we start waking up at 3 o'clock. At least 3:30 we are all up. By 3:45 we are taking tea. What happens overnight? There is one brother who has voluntarily accepted this duty. One brother, thin and tall. He has voluntarily offered to take this duty. He alone by himself, of course, he is always Baba with him, he alone by himself works all 365 days in a year. And every night he starts at 9:30 p.m. And even if you come at 3:30, you find that brother roaming around here and there, singing a song. Baba apne kamal kar diya. Something, he'll be always singing. His face shining bright after working overnight, every day, round the year. These days, the sweetest Bab-Dada comes only for 3 hours, 7:30 to 10:30. Good old days when this complex did not exist, nor the Shantivan existed, we had only Madhuban. And we had Om Shanti Bhavan. And then I was fortunate to have the duty of working in sound department. I started my dedicated life career in sound department. And then the best advantage of the departmental service was every day morning when Bab-Dada is taking leave, he calls. Light and sound walon ko bulao. Let the light and sound people come, those who were on duty. he will invite you to give you a toli. These days, it's so difficult to go to this stage. Double foreigners still have the privilege, they are given a chance. How about Bharatvasis? 15,000 to 20,000 people come. If they are all allowed to go to this stage, there will be chaos. So very selected people go to this stage, they take only a second drishti and keep moving. The best part of my life was those 3 months doing duty for the sound department. And you know how much alert the person on duty in sound department has to be? Babdada speaks in whispering tone. And through the loudspeaker, through that amplifier, he has to ensure that the whispering tone reaches to the last person in the diamond hall, or for that matter, Om Shanti Bhavan. So the volume has to be kept highest. Otherwise, if I start whispering, the voice will hardly reach that clock which is there by the side of the wall. People sitting on the rear cannot hear anything. When the mic is removed, and Baba is meeting some people, nobody can hear except the person standing there, even he cannot hear. Sometimes the sister Neelu has to repeat what Baba is talking. It is so low. And that voice has to be made strength 5, loud and clear, till the last chair. And to all the departments also it goes. So the volume has to be maximum. If it so happens that Dadi Gulzar suffers from cold, so what will happen? If the body coughs, that volume is maximum, you will hear the blast, the roaring of the clouds. And the total stage of the listeners goes astray. So the sound man's duty is always keep watching on Babdada's face, throughout, constantly. Good old days, we didn't have televisions. Now the sound man has a small TV, he's observing like this. Nobody knows he's observing Baba's face, he's only seeing his TV. And he's always alert that the moment there's a little sign of, cough likely to come, zoom, he has to put the volume 0. So that nobody is disturbed. And in Om Shanti Bhavan, since we did not have televisions, there was no closed circuit television system, so we had to sit in the sound department like the brother is sitting there and is constantly watching me. If Babdada is sitting there, the sound department man has to be constantly looking at Baba. Full night. Baba used to come at 6:30 p.m. and used to go at 6:30 a.m. as a norm. And now he comes every fortnight, then he was coming on every alternate day. So every alternate night, Dadi Gulzar comes, sits on the throne. That is what her seat is. And Babdada comes at 6:30 p.m., stays till morning 6:30 a.m. 12 hours, full night, every alternate night, constantly watching Baba. And since you have not closed your eyes even for a second, like, has anybody seen Babdada closing eyes? 3 hours or 10 hours or 14 hours doesn't make any difference. And he constantly smiles. Babdada, as long as he stays, the face is always smiling because God is ocean of bliss. That bliss has to be seen. I can take a guarantee with you. Any one of you, we can have a bet. Bet doesn't mean that in the bad terms, but in a good term. I can invite anyone to come and sit on the chair and smile one full night. And you'll be given a one lovely prize in the morning. Any one of you can do that? You just have to sit on a chair. We'll give you a comfortable chair. You have to sit in the same posture Just one full night, 6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. and smile whole night. Anyone is ready to do that? Raise your hands. You have to smile, that's all. Deities always smile. We Sangam Yogi souls, the Brahmins always smile. Those generals only liked one thing in Madhuban, that everybody smiles all the time whenever they look at him. But they always used to observe in daytime. Only Vijay can be observed at night time smiling, but he keeps moving around. If you make him sit, in 2 hours, he won't know where is he fallen. See, when God comes, the ocean of bliss, he at least has to smile, minimum. That's how we identify him, that ocean of bliss and ocean of love is sitting. And then he talks so lovefully to every child whosoever appears, gives only vardans, blessings and blessings and blessings. That's why Sadguru is so important. That's why Sadguru Var is so important. It is the day when God himself comes and blesses you through the trance messenger. Today morning, Sister Vedanti went up. Did she bring some blessings? Always. So Guruvar, Sadguruvar is the day of blessings. So every Sadguruvar, we must, when we wake up early morning, like today I woke up 3 o'clock, I had some nice visions about the future service. And it was so delight feeling when Sister Vedanti came down and she spoke. Children have made very good plans for the next year. They want to do everything very fast. Okay, Bapdada likes it, and he is ready to help you 100 times. You take one bold step and Baba helps you 100 times to make your purpose happen. Make your plan become practical. He will ensure. See, whatever you desire for the next year, he has given a blessing today that it will definitely happen. Do plan nicely. Make up some projects to ensure that everybody gets message. That's what we have to do before we leave. We all want to be carefree emperors. You can only become carefree when you have done your job well. And Baba has given us the task that let there be no complaint left out. We have variety of wings in our academy, and we do programs for various professionals. Because I have a military background, so Baba has given us the task of giving message to the armed forces, military, paramilitary people. As it is, we have to give message to all. And military people are very important because they have to perform a special role of handing you over the power. The present politicians will never. But armed forces are the only forces who can take on power at any time, and they are still remaining detached, and they can give it at any time. That's how the Indian armed forces are, at least. I know them well because I've been with them. So we need to serve them all. So this morning I had a thought, next year we will plan a project beginning from next year, and within that year, India has very huge borders with Pakistan, with China, with Burma, and all the Himalayan ranges, they are our borders. Then we have coastal lines, huge. So the wing should cover and give message to all the soldiers and officers who are deputed on the border duty. Most of them live in those very difficult environment of super high altitude terrains. Super high altitude means more than 13,000 feet. Hills are healthy till 9,000 feet. And then they are troublesome. And once you cross 13,000 feet, the oxygen content is so low that survival is also quite a difficult task. And there are people who serve at 17,000 feet, 16,000 feet. They are on duty all the year. They should also get message. So it was going to be a very difficult decision to ensure that we reach all those remote and difficult areas, to give message to the people who are working in those very difficult environments, and then also cover the entire coastal area, which is more than twice the area of the Himalayas. But when Bab-Dada gave the blessing through Sister Vedanti, I was so happy sitting there, I was jumping with joy. Yes, it's going to happen. Baba is going to give us 100 times help. Then what is so difficult about it? We can plan anything and he makes it practical. So the first and foremost thing which is needed to be a carefree emperor is to be a detached observer. If you are a detached observer and you are always in the company of the Father, that's what the blessing was given to this soul when Baba came last time in 1988, and he met each and every Madhuban Nivasi and gave about 5-10 minutes to every one of them. Whole night Baba-Dada was giving blessings, and one by one, starting from Nirvair Bhaji, to all of us, we were given some blessings. And the blessing was, आप सदा साक्षी हो, साथी के साथ रहते. You are always a detached observer and you always remain in the company of the Father. And that's why you are always happy. And you will always remain happy and continue to do so. That's how the blessings came. On different subjects for different people, depending upon their sanskars. And this is a very special blessing of Baba on this child. It so happens that though I have to pass through various situations, Baba has given the role of the firefighter. Wherever there are problems, the whereby calls and he says, Ashok, so and so place, there is a problem, go and solve it. I never worry about reservations. Whatever, pick up your best suitcase and just move off. By any means we reach. And I am always of the opinion that you have, Ashok, no karmic account in that issue, which is going to be resolved by Baba. You only have to be there, and the rest is his job. Just observe it as a detached observer, and things will work out. When people are, narrating their problems to you, if you really listen carefully as a detached observer, the solution always lies in one of those statements. That's what you have to observe, and that's what you have to ensure it happens and the problem gets solved. So when you are a detached observer, then only you can listen very carefully. And with Baba always by your side, touches you. Here is the solution. And it gets solved. I don't have to do much. Just be available, listen carefully, and take a decision. And that too, it is his decision, and he ensures it happens. That's how the problems get resolved. If you need to be a part of solution and not part of problem, you just need to be a detached observer. And by keeping Baba as your companion, you will always find solutions happening. Problem can be any type. It may be beyond your capacity. But it gets solved. I always love to quote the story of one brother John, who lives now in the retreat center in US. Earlier he used to stay in Tampa. Sister Dorothy was the in charge of the center when we met in 1993. Dadi Prakashmani, the chief at that time, was invited to preside over the function in Chicago in the Parliament of World Religions. So she wanted someone to accompany her. There was a meeting going on. You know how the blessings work. I'm just giving an example. Dadi Chandramani, who was in charge of this complex when it started 15 years ago, she was sitting outside in the courtyard of Madhuban, and she asked, Ashok, what sort of efforts are you making these days? You know, we keep sharing our effort making. I said, Dadi, Baba has recently told that you must stand on the globe and always give vibrations to all the souls of all the 5 continents. Are you doing it regularly? She said, yes, Dadi, every Amrit Vela, that's become my habit. That I go to Satlujan, sit with Baba, immerse the globe, and one continent wise, each continent wise, America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. And emanate vibrations to serve the globe, the souls staying in any continent of this earth. So you are sitting in Madhuban and doing foreign service? I said, well, Dadi, I just do it as a subtle service. Whatever Baba says, we do and we enjoy. Good. You will go soon to a foreign country. I had never been to a foreign country for the last 14 years. And then Dadi blesses you. If you have started doing this, serving the globe, you will go to a foreign land. There was a break in the short meeting. We have reassembled and Dadi Prakashmani speaks out. Dadi has been invited. Dadi never used to say, I am invited. That word I, Dadi never used. Dadi has been invited to Chicago to preside over the Parliament of World Religions. And Dadi wants to take a brother with him. Who would like to come? Everybody was sitting tight. And then she looks around and says, Ashok, would you like to come? I don't mind. I'll come, Dadi. So a blessing comes at 10:45, and 11 o'clock it starts taking shape. So it was decided to go to US for the first time. For us, you know, US is a bit too far. India is here and US is right below. You know, exactly on the downside of Earth. We may call it Patal Lok or whatever. And then I go for lunch. I find Sister Dorothy sitting there. She heard the news and she says, Ashok, brother, are you coming to US? I need to have a gift from you. So I looked at her. Normally Madhuban Nivasis, you know, wherever they go, they carry a bag of tolis. So they conduct a class, they give some tolis, and they get gifts in return. They fill up the bag and bring back. This is how normally a Madhuban Nivasi performs his role when he travels. He takes tolis and brings gifts. And here was the demand of a teacher, sister, that you have to give me a gift. We never say no, you know. As in the armed forces, when I was staying, you know, we always have to say, yes, sir. Whatever is told to you, say, yes, sir. So she looked at me and she says, Ashok, you have to give me a gift. I said, yes. I mean, you will get it. But tell me, what do you want? And then she speaks. You know about a brother, John, who used to come to Madhuban a couple of years ago. So I thought over, I said, yes, I remember one John. But I haven't seen him for the last 2-3 years. He says, yes, Maya has eaten him up. He's been eaten by Maya. Now I don't understand what is eating away by Maya. I says, where is he? I don't know. He's somewhere in US, maybe in Tampa. We have never met. Last 2 years, I have never seen him. And I want John back when you come there. That's the gift I need. Imagine a brother staying in Bharat, India, 8,000 kilometers away. I don't know how far it is, maybe more. And it is like, you know, opposite side of the earth. Some child is lost. And he has to be brought back. And a teacher in charge of the center wants him as a gift from a Madhuban Nivasi when he visits US. I says, well, sister, I do not know where is your center. America is a very big country. She says, that you don't have to worry. The day you'll end up in New York, you will get a ticket there to come to my center in Tampa. That's all my problem. Reaching Tampa is not an issue. But I want John back. As simple as that. So, since I had said yes and granted a boon, I came back to Baba's room. Naturally, I have no one else to talk to. How do they solve the problem? I said, Baba, the sister wanted a gift. And as a natural reaction, I said yes. But how do I get John back to her? And then Baba was smiling and he says, listen child, you have the habit of remaining a detached observer. Yes, Baba, that's no problem. You also have the habit of, sitting on the globe and sending vibrations, sitting with Bab Dada. Yes, Baba, I do it every day morning, I have no problems. But you only have to do that. At the end of Amrit Vela, for the last 5 minutes, just immerse the face of John. Normally when we do emanating vibrations, we do it in a group, on a continent or on a country or whatever, not on individuals. Just, I said, how do I immerse him? You know his face, just immerse his face. And give him vibrations to come back. Just give him that thought. So I looked at Baba, I said, well, I can do this. I will immerse his face and I'll be sitting with you. But maybe I'll have to tell you that the child should come back. I don't have confidence that if I tell him, he will come back. Baba says, okay, do that. Come and sit with me. And during last 5 minutes of Amrit Vela, just remind me that let the child come back. So Baba will help you. So I had no fears. Every day morning, we did for a couple of days and then I realized I don't know whether the vibration was still reaching him. There was a little element of doubt. So in the evening hours, I started going to Baba's Rock. Sitting at the hilltop, and you see Baba yet is at a satellite, very high, and then the vibrations will reach. So that sort of picture I used to emerge while sitting on Baba's Rock. Sit there, look down, looking around the earth, and you see in America there is some kind of city like Tampa, which I am not aware at all, and I know there is one John brother. Emerge him and tell Baba, please tell the child to come back. So I used to see Baba is smiling in the subtle regions and invoking him. 2 weeks passed, and time came to fly to US. So after first landing in New York, I was sent to Didi Mani. Said, yes, your tickets for Tampa are here. You can go to Tampa for a couple of days. I believe you had a talk with Dorothy and she wants you there for 2 days. So I flew to Tampa. First time in this Kalpa. Last Kalpa we must have flown, naturally. And the moment I land there and I come out, I see John waiting to receive. So I looked at him, gave him the drishti, smiled, sat down in his car and started driving to the center. And now I was thinking, how has it happened? So I looked at John, and then a question mark. And he says, well, Ashok, brother, I don't know whether you know it or not, Maya in America is very strange. For last 2 years I have never been to the center. I said, why? Because Maya has eaten me up. The person who has been eaten up, he himself is talking. Maya has eaten me up because Maya is very strange and strong in the United States. So I kept smiling, looking at him. And then he speaks. But stranger, Maya is strange, all right, but stranger is the experience of last 2 weeks. So again I looked at him. Let's see what does he say. He said, what happened last 2 weeks? Amrit Vela, around 4:45, Baba comes and shakes my cot and wakes me up. And he tells me, child, come back, child, come back, child, come back. Baba is shaking up his cot every day, Amrit Vela, and he's eaten away by Maya, means he's living in some corner of Tampa. I don't know in what circumstances. And then he says, once again in the evening when I come back home, again he comes into my room. And he tells me, child, come back, child, come back. Imagine the happiness which I must have been receiving and thanking Baba at core of my heart. That, listen, Baba, this is what you do. This is what you advised, and this is what happened. But America is really a strange country. We reached the center. He asked me to get down from the car, and he says, well, that is the center. And he turned his car back. I said, come on, John, where are you going? The door is locked. I don't know how to get in. He says, well, I was only told to pick you up and drop you here. I was not invited to go into the center, so I am not going into the center. And then he comes to the door, rings the bell. He says, okay, somebody will come and open, I am going. So I was again feeling confused, and I said, come on, John, you have come after 2 years to the center. Okay, I am inviting you. Tomorrow is Thursday. Please come to the class for some time. It is an invitation from a Madhuban Nivasi. Kindly accept. Please do come to the class, because all the centers, we in Madhuban, we believe that there are centers, our branches. So I am requesting you from the core of my heart, please do come to the center. Tomorrow is a Thursday. He thinks for a while. Okay, I'll think over it. Fortunately, next day morning, John does come to the class. I was thinking, 2 weeks effort? Just he comes, receives and drops you at the center and goes off. No purpose served. And then I asked Amrit Vela, I asked Baba, what is this? You served, you worked 2 weeks, morning, evening, to touch this soul, to come back, and this guy is hearing, and still he just leaves me outside the center and runs away. So he says, well, child, you have to put in a little more effort, don't worry. So, again, repeated the same exercise which we were doing in Madhuban. Again immersed the soul, and then told Baba, let him come back, not just outside the center, but inside the center. And then next day morning we see John inside the center. Everybody was feeling very happy to see their divine brother. And the reason of their happiness I came to know later, that he was the founder of that center. And everybody, most of the students, he was the instrument to give them the divine birth. So naturally he was the teacher. So students were very, very happy. So was Dorothy. And I came to know that even Dorothy came into Gyan because of John. So she was feeling indebted. But because of the rule or a direction from Dadi that, okay, Dorothy will take care of the center, the incident happened. And he comes back after 2 years. Everybody is delighted to see their teacher back. And then I asked, are you all happy seeing John back in the class? Naturally, they were, and full of joy. So we made him sit in the seat, and we said, okay, all of you will request this man that he will now continue to come to the center every day. Give him an invitation. This guy needs an invitation. Even God has asked him to come, but he still doesn't want to come unless you invite him all. So naturally there was overwhelming happiness, joy and everything. Yes, John Bhai, we are inviting you. Must come to the class every day. So the role of Maya was over. He started coming, and now he's a dedicated child in the New York Retreat Center. This is how Baba does all your job. You only need to be a Sakshi Drashta, a detached observer to all the scenes. Just keep him by your side, and you will always be a carefree emperor. You don't need to bother at all. Things work by themselves. He is ready to do everything for you, including taking away your worries. That was the gist of the Murli last which we heard, in which Baba said, give me all your worries and take in return self-respect or self-esteem, and always remain in that elevated stage, and always remain carefree, and always become carefree emperors. That's how the golden age deities are. That's how Baba's children are now in the present Sangam Yuga. If we are not, we need to be that. How many lives will we take in golden age? How many births shall we have in golden age? 8, sure? Not more? 8? Yes, Satyug. How about Treta Yuga, Silver Age? How many births? 12. 12. What is the total? 20. And how much Baba has assured us? Baba has assured us health, wealth and happiness guaranteed for 21 births. Where is the 21st birth? Now. Yes, it can't be anywhere else, because Treta Yuga ends and the 21st birth is finished. And they are only counted as 20, so 21st has to be, the first one has to be now. The second to 21st will be in golden and silver ages. So now is your first birth. If you have to be deities in golden age and always seen smiling, if we cannot smile now all the time, how can we smile in golden age? We carry the sanskars. If you are not a carefree emperor now, you cannot be a carefree emperor in golden age. Be sure about it. And we all have pledged to Baba that, Baba, we are now living with you. We will go back to Paramdham with you. That's how Baba has promised us, and we have promised to Baba that Baba will live with us throughout the Sangam Yuga. And we'll all go back together to Paramdham, and then once again descend together into the Satyuga, golden age. Right? Everybody is going to do that? So if you are going to do that, then this is the only time to enjoy the first birth. And once we are aware of our rights, birth rights, then there is no issue which can bring us down from the stage of carefree emperors. Are the emperors carefree in golden age, including their royal families? Are they all carefree, or they have some worries in golden age also? Will they be carefree, or they will be having worries? Sure, they will be all carefree. The ruler, the royal family, and the people around. Everybody is going to lead a carefree life. So everybody can only lead a carefree life because we are going to be that, no one else. So we have to learn the art of leading the life of a carefree emperor. Now, emperor is supposed to have, emperor is the one who sits on the throne. If there is no throne, then you are not an emperor. Now, which are the thrones which Baba has offered us? Anyone? There are 3 thrones which have been offered to us by Baba now. Yes? Can anybody name them? All the 3 thrones? 1, 2, 3? First one? Brutti ka takht. Okay. Second one? Whose heart? Baba's heart throne. And third one? The golden age throne. Okay? Which one is the most important, most attractive, most useful? First, second or third? Sure? Not the first? First is automatically there, and then only you can be. If you are not sitting at your own seat, you cannot sit at his heart throne. If you are not having that beautiful stage and you are not in loveful remembrance of Baba, you cannot sit on his heart throne. And it has to be Baba to love you. If we put Baba on our heart throne, then only we can sit on his heart throne. You might have heard the story of Narad and Hanuman. How many of you know the story of Narad and Hanuman? No one? Good. So we'll have one more story. Narad was a bhakta. Okay? Bhakta means who always remembers the God. And Narad was famous to sing Narayan, 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 Narayan. Always, he'll keep. Wherever he goes, he has that, musical things in his hand. Narayan, Narayan. If somebody starts speaking that tone, then we say, oh yes, Narad has come. This is how we play the dramas in India. So wherever somebody is dressed up like a sadhu, and he comes and he just makes that, musical sound with his instruments, I don't know, what do you call that, khartal? And then he says, Narayan, Narayan. And we say, oh, here is Narad. He's going to do he's remembering God, but he's a mischievous chap. He's going to play some mischief. So once Narad went to meet Narayan. Narayan means Lord Vishnu lying on inside the ocean on the body of a snake, He always lies comfortable, smiles always, absorbed in churning. And he said, oh yes, Narad, how are you? And then he said, oh, I am very happy. And then he saw a piece of paper, small diary, lying below his head. He says, Lord, what is that diary? He said, this is a list of my bhaktas, This is a list of those people who remember me the most. Can I see that diary? I don't mind. So he gave him that diary and he opened and read the whole diary, the names. There's so many bhaktas in the world. But his name was on top. Because Narad was always constantly and consistently in remembrance of the Lord. And he had a problem also that he could not sit or sleep at a place for more than 45 minutes to 1 hour. Then he has to move. Sawa ghadi is about maybe 1.5 hours. Maximum stoppage at place was 1 hour and 30 minutes. And then he has to move. If he does not, his head will start aching. So he never will sleep for more than an hour. If at all he has to sleep. Daytime he didn't find, he never wanted to sleep. Even nighttime he could never get a sleep. We call it a sleep cycle. Okay, we'll have 3 minutes. Experiencing the stage of a Carefree emperor. Just remember Baba and Mukti Dham, and then you have to come back to Jivan Mukti Dham. That's what the song is speaking. So remember Mukti Dham and Jivan Mukti Dham, and you will feel that stage.
पांडव शिव शक्ति सेना की रणभेरी अब फिर बजती है। शिव बाबा के सतयुग में अब तुम्हें आना है, धाम में तुम्हें सतयुग में अब तुम्हें आना है, धाम में तुम्हें गाना है।
So we were talking about a soul who used to be in constant remembrance of the Lord, Narad. That means he used to keep Lord Vishnu always at his heart throne and always keep remembering him by pronouncing his name, Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. If you constantly speak only one word, that means he is your most lovable person and you always give him the best place, that is your heart throne. That's how we define the best bhakta. So Narad was very happy to see that list. I am on top, number one bhakta on this earth. And he was walking and he saw Hanuman. Have you heard about Hanuman any time? The monkey god, we may call it. But Hanuman was another person who will always remember his Lord Ram and will always be ready to help him, to serve him. Not only remember, but always ready to serve him. If we read Ramayana, the story of Rama, his best friend was Hanuman, because he always helped him whenever he was in trouble. We are not going to the details of Ramayana, but Hanuman was the most lovable one by Ram. And Hanuman used to love Ram and Ram used to love him the most. There is a famous story about Hanuman. Lord Rama is sitting on the throne, Hanuman is sitting by the side, and a person comes and as an appreciation for his bhakti, he gives him a garland of pearls, a rosary of pearls. Hanuman looks at it, very nice precious stones in the shape of a circle as a rosary. And he looks around and he picks up a stone and then puts every pearl on the floor and breaks him in two pieces. And this guy is observing, he says, what is this nonsense? This man is really a monkey. He hardly has anything here. I gave him this beautiful gift in recognition to his love for the God. And I wished he could put it, that rosary, around his neck and look beautiful. But this guy is breaking each and every pearl. He couldn't resist himself and he says, Hanuman, what are you doing? Do you know they're very precious stones? I have purchased them after paying a lot of money. And as a mark of respect for your love for the God, I gave you as a gift. Why are you breaking them? He says, for me, the stones and the preciousness does not matter. I am breaking them to open and see whether there is Ram inside or not. I only want to have something which is Ram in it, my Lord in it. He says, come on, what is this? Do you think that your Lord can be there in these stones and pearls? He says, yes, if he can be anywhere, that's how the bhakti believes in. He should be in the pearls as well. Then he says, okay, forget about the pearls. Do you think the Lord is always sitting at your heart throne? He says, of course. My Lord is always sitting in my heart throne. He says, you are the best lover of God? Of course, of course. Okay, then open your heart throne and show me whether your Rama is sitting there or not. And Hanuman smiled. He had after a monk, he has got very big nails. He put it here and broke it open. He took it out. Like, when we do open heart surgery, the doctor does it. He chops it here and he has to open it out. because there is no access to your heart. Until you don't open it and keep it open, the doctor has to work on your heart and, take different nerves and put it bypass and all that type. And to his surprise, that person who brought the gift, he saw Lord Rama sitting on the throne and giving a very sweet divine smile. This is how in bhakti Hanuman is shown, who always have the Lord sitting on his heart. And Hanuman was a good friend of Narad, because both were very good bhaktas. So Narad comes and he says, well, Hanuman, I went to the Lord today and he has given me a diary. Would you like to read it? He said, I don't mind. So he started reading it and he saw, the list of those people who remember God from their heart. And then he found Narad as number one. And he says, congratulations, Narad, you are number one bhakta. You remember the God the most. And Narad with a proud face, yes, of course, I am really proud of it. But Mr. Hanuman, you don't appear anywhere on this list. There is no name of yours. Because he was a bit naughty type. Narad was very naughty. And he wants to tease him. Your name doesn't appear anywhere. Well, he says, all right, you are a lucky man. God has put you as number one in the list. I congratulate you for your fortune. Then again he says, but Hanuman, you are supposed to be also a very good bhakta. How come your name is missing from the list? And then Hanuman smiles and he says, okay, Narad. You see the stage of a carefree emperor. That's what Hanuman was. Narad was not. Because he will always smile and he always sees, in his heart the Lord sitting. And he tells him, oh, well, if you go next time to Lord, ask Lord Vishnu, you will find a small piece of paper lying below his pillow, in addition to this diary. He may show you that, he may not show you, I don't know, but there is some list there also. Go and have a look. And Narad, immediately starts running. He says, come on, Lord, I thought you have given me the final list, the whole diary. I believe there's another small list lying below your pillow. Can you show me that? He says, don't worry about that. It's a very small list. Why are you concerned about it? I gave you a big list and you are number one. Be satisfied with it. No, I want to see that small list also. Okay. He gave that small list to Narad. And then in that small list it was written, the list of those persons who are remembered by God most of the time, who sit on the heart throne of the Lord. That was the list who remember the Lord, and here was the list whom the Lord remembers. And he read that list, and Hanuman's name was number one on that. This is, you see, the list of those people who are remembered by the Lord. And the list of those people, the first list was those who have the Lord in their heart. They remember him. But you are sitting at the heart throne of the Lord. That was the second list. And that's what we were discussing. That if you feel that you're sitting at the heart throne of the God, of our sweetest Father, then you can be a carefree emperor and you are very lucky. See, if you are always busy in his service, he loves it the most. So you will sit at his heart throne as well. Remember him and also be available for his service at all times. I would like to narrate a small event of this Sangamyugi life, the luckiest life I call the first birth. The very first meeting, I had an opportunity to meet Baba on the holy day of 1972. In the holy festival day, good old days when there were very few children and there was only one building, headquarters building, that is our Madhavan, Pandabhavan, and there was no other building. All these things came up much later. And the children used to come in very small numbers. The party used to be 15, 20 people. Now it is 15, 20,000 people who come to meet Baba. Then only 15, 20 people used to come. At times only 4 or 5. And still Baba was very happy, his children have come. And then he used to bestow vardhans on them. And on the holy day, Baba used to come in his room. How many of you have seen Baba's room? Baba's room in Panda Bhavan, how many of you have seen? Well, most of you must have seen. If you've not seen, then go and see today. Okay? Go and see Baba's room in Panda Bhavan. It is now slightly bigger because on the Golden Jubilee celebrations we made it one full piece. Earlier it was slightly smaller than that. And in that there is to be, what is there in Baba's room? What does there exist? Bed. Anything else? Picture. Translate. Anything else? A small gaddi, what we call a small sheet, white sheet with a little cushion. It is lying on the left side. When you sit there, you see on the left side where there is a small chair right in front of you. On the right side, there is a bed. That's it. That's what used to be there. A small sort of cushion on the left side and a bed. Baba used to, during his Sakar period, Baba used to sit on that cushion and write letters to the children. In the daytime, at night time he used to rest on the bed. He only needed this much, nothing else. That was the total need of Brahma Baba for staying in that room. And there was a small storeroom. It must be having some other thing, some fruits and maybe a small suitcase of his clothes. And that's it. So Baba used to come in Dadi Gulzar's body, in 1972 I am talking, and Dadi Gulzar used to sit in that cushion inside Baba's room, which was almost half the size as the present Baba's room. There was only one door, the front door where sisters enter now. There was no door like brothers entering. So only one door by the side of the bed, and you enter from that and you find Babdada sitting almost on the ground, 1 inch up. And then the parties one by one will go and meet Baba. So I was very fortunate to be allowed to meet Baba. And since I was just 1 month in Gyan, because I was leading a pure life, so I was given permission. I was a vegetarian by birth and, all conditions met. So I went in, though I was married for 1 year, but the very first day she came, the second day she went off to do her studies and she was still doing her master's degree. And for me, purity was natural. So since I was allowed because of that, so we go in, and I had talked to the teacher that if you make me see the God face to face like I am talking to you, I took the 7 days course in Delhi, I will not lead a pure life for just one birth, for next 21 births. She says, yes, I'll make you meet the God face to face and he will talk to you as I am talking to you. I said, then purity promise for 21 births granted. So I was promising to one young sister who was my teacher in Delhi. And when I come in to meet Baba, I find there are 2 people sitting. One sister who was very thin, so thin that her bones could be seen. It appeared as if she was doing very hard service and she was not bothered about eating, so her body had become too slim, I will say. There was a man sitting with a round cap who is a Marwadi, who is supposed to be a multimillionaire. The very rich people in India are called Marwadis and they were very rich. So this sister was facing Baba and she was telling him, Baba, this man, who has come to meet you, he's very rich. He has got, many factories and he's an industrialist, a big industrialist of Mumbai. And Baba was smiling. He was not even looking at that child because he was sitting on one side and he wasn't looking at that sister. I see. Then he picked up a piece of apple and gave it to him and he went out. So since I was observing, well, Brahma Kumari's God is at least not impressed by money. This is sure. He doesn't care about a multimillionaire, but he is more concerned about his children. So then he was looking at that sister I'll tell you after the experience who is that sister. Absolutely weak and meek, thin body, skeleton of bones with a sari on. Just she's looking at Baba and Baba is giving her drishti. She says, come on, tell me, child, whose body is that? He's looking at the body and he says, whose body is that? Normally he says, it's my body. That since she's a dedicated Brahma Kumari, she's thought for a while. And Baba once again, whose body is that? She said, Baba, it's yours, because I'm a dedicated child. I see. Then Baba says, बच्ची ये शरीर किसका है? Then once she says, it's yours. Then she says, तो बाबा की अमानत में खयानत डालने का तुझको क्या अधिकार है? Because she was not taking care of her body. Absolutely skeleton type of body. She says, then if I have given you as a trustee and it is my body, my property, who are you to be careless about a gift of God which has been given to you? You know, he talked very officially. How dare you not take care of my property? He didn't say your body, he said of my property. And then she was slightly, again looking at Baba, and Baba gave her a lot of sweet drishti. You know how the Supreme Father takes care of his children. And then he says, okay, he knew she must be working very hard. She must be taking hardly meals a day and then running around in Mumbai area and doing service to all these VIPs and so-called rich people. So she's not taking care of the body. Then he says, Bachi, tumko Brahma Bhojan banana aata hai? He says, sweet child, do you know how to make Brahma Bhojan? She says, yes, of course, I know how to make Brahma Bhojan. And then again Swami says, tomorrow onwards, when you go back home, you must prepare a nice Brahma Bhojan in Baba's remembrance twice a day. And then she looked, and then offer it to Baba every day, twice a day. And then take it and give it to this body. It's God's property. Take care of it. So imagine how the Supreme Father works. A Lokik Father and Supreme Father, how much different they are. He did not shout at her, but gave her a very sweet solution to the problem. You know who that teacher could be? The present chief of the Gyan Sarovar, Didi Nimla. Dr. Nimla was a doctor and she was doing her practice as well as doing godly service. Naturally, she must be running all the day to various parts of Mumbai, hardly any time to make food, just taking lunch, just taking one meal a day and managing. So she was like this. And Baba, with so much of love, he said, well, Vachi, you must make Brahma Bhojan twice a day. Offer it to Baba, because he knew, till I don't teach her like this, she will not understand. And then also must offer to this body, because this belongs to Baba, not to you. You have to take care of it. Then she was given leave, and now comes my turn. We were all alone, just Baba and myself in that room. So I moved a bit ahead. I was just sitting like this, and Baba started giving drishti. And within a second or so, I felt I don't have a body of flesh and bones. The whole thing turned into a body of light. So I was sitting in my angelic stage without putting any effort. Just drishti of Baba turns you into an angel. Like a magic. And then as Baba kept giving drishti, I started feeling more and more light and more peaceful. He continued to give drishti, and then I started feeling blissful. Because God is the ocean of bliss, and when through His drishti bestows bliss, this is what you experience. So I was totally engrossed in that blissful stage. And then Baba smiled and says, so child, what have you thought? I was feeling so happy that I am seeing God face to face. Nobody can be more fortunate than this, that I have ultimately met the God. And he says, so child, what have you thought? So I looked at Baba, I said, Baba, I am not thinking anything. I am so happy that I finally got you. No, Babdada wants to know about that first condition of the Brahmin life, the first dharana of Brahmin life. So what have you thought about it? Then I suddenly thought, how does he know? There's nobody sitting here. The teacher is in Delhi. That I promised about purity to that teacher. How does he know? And then the second thought comes, come on, he's the God. He reads the mind and he knows everything. So he knows that you promised purity to your teacher. So I felt so, he says, Baba, I will try my best. With full person, I will try my best. And then Baba spoke in Hindi, Bacche, koshish mein kashish nahi hoti. Baba speaks a very nice rhymic language. Avakt Baba's language is so rhymic. Koshish mein kashish nahi hoti. There is no strength or pull in an attempt, in a trial. So I looked at him. I said, then what do you want? He says, Bab Dada only believes in a promise. Because only with a pledge you start changing life. Bab Dada keval pratigya mein vishwas karte hain. And now, I realized that I had pledged to that sister that when I see God face to face, I will take a pledge of leading a pure life. And where is the hesitance? I said, it's God's problem. What does He do about others? He's asking you to take a pledge of purity. I took out my hand. So that was the first day when I put Baba in my heart and I gave the hand to Baba. After, and ever since, purity has been a natural way of life. There has never been a problem. After 28 years, in the year 2000, Bab Dada came in Diamond Hall. Normally he comes in Diamond Hall these days. And good old days, when people used to feel that Baba is sitting so far, he should come with us, he should come to us and meet everybody. So we had made a provision that in between the lines there was a space added and the red carpet was put on that. So from front of the Diamond Hall to the rear of the Diamond Hall, and then turn right through the students, again a red carpet, and then again turn left. So there was a sort of a C-shaped carpet put on the whole Diamond Hall. Like Baba is sitting here, he will get down from those steps, meet the sisters, go to brother's side, then move on that red carpet as you see here, goes back and then turns around, turns right, and then he comes again in this passage, exactly this way. That passage used to be laid, and then he comes back and sits back on his. So Baba came. This was 31st December 1999. I remember it very clearly, because certain things you can never forget in life. So Bab Dada descended from the steps, met all the senior teachers, sisters, and then he came to the brother's side. I was sitting at this seat, like you sisters sitting. And then Dadi Prakashmani used to accompany him. And Dadi stopped in front and she says, good old days, we did a very special program of giving Baba's message to more than 33 crore people. The target was to give message to 33 crores. So we had done a program called Dwadash Jyotirling Yatra. Has anybody heard? Anybody understand what is Dwadash Jyotirling? No? Nobody knows. There are, millions of Shiva temples in India and abroad. But 12 of them are very famous. Dwadash means 12. Dash is 10, Dwadash is 12. Sanskrit Dwadash means 12. There are 12 Shiva temples in India where it is said, Swayambhu, that the Lord Shiva came out himself, blessed that place, and there's a big story behind those such temples. And they are so famous that millions of people go and visit those temples. Like one is in Kashi, near Allahabad, where Ganga Jamuna meets. One is in down south Rameshwaram. One is up in the hills, Amarnath, Kedarnath. And then one is in Somnath, which is west of the country, at the ocean. Then in all the four corners, and also spread all over India, there are 12 temples. And people have a firm faith that they are the temple of the God, not of the Lord. And those Shivlings are worshipped as God by an enormous number of people. So we decided that we'll make temples models, and those temple models will be made on on the rear of a vehicle, and then those vehicles will go through the whole of the country, and they will assemble at Mount Abu. So from the 12 yatras were taken, and wherever it stops, people will rush in large numbers to pay their regards. They will even put money on that. And one of our brothers will sit there like a priest. And then a sister will be sitting by the side, and wherever it stops, the sister stands up and gives Baba's message. Then they keep distributing pamphlets. And those programs were covered by the television, so a lot of people will be watching on television. So it did an enormous service in the whole country. So those programs was to be arranged, and their route chart was to be made, and then whole planning about the temple size and design and how will they come and where all they will stop. All that had to be planned out, and because of my background of the Air Force, map reading was my nature. These days, we have Google and all those things available on computers, but those days in India, no such facility existed. So somebody had to physically see the big maps of the country and then draw those route charts, and then each and every stoppage you have to plan, where will you have a night halt and where all you will stop en route. So all this designing was done, and really about 30 crores of people, that means 300 million people got Baba's message through those yatras. So it was a big program, and since this soul was made the instrument of designing the whole program, so Dadi Prakash Mani just stopped. And then he was saying, Baba, this child of yours has designed all this 12 Dwadash Jyotirling Yatra, and millions of people are getting your message. And when Dadi Prakash Mani, appreciates a child, Baba heard it very carefully. And if he is satisfied with their effort, then he pulled out his hand. So I remember in 1972 February, I had pulled out my hand to Baba. That means I put Baba in my heart throne. And in 27 years later, Baba pulled out his hand to shake hand. And it was the most delightful day of my life. Because here it is that the God himself is pulling out his hand to shake hand with you. And to me, it was something like deserving to sit on the heart throne of Baba. And ever since, there has been a very sincere effort that we continuously sit on his heart throne. Because that is the most delightful thing we can ever do. Keep planning some service or the other of a massive scale, which Baba likes. And then you can sit as his heart throne. If you sit on his heart throne, you really feel, you are a carefree emperor. Because the Lord has accepted you to sit on his heart throne. It's not just the example of one person. Baba equally loves us all. And he offers his heart throne to each one of us. What we need to do is, again, be a detached observer. Keep him intellectually always with you as a companion. And keep doing something which he likes. And I think as a Brahmin, we have nothing else to do except to do what he wants you to do. And you only have to be an instrument. It is his job to actually do it, make it practical, and give you the credit, because you happen to be the instrument. He doesn't need any credit. He has not to come in the golden age. The traffic control record which we were having at 12 o'clock, it was so clear that as per your efforts, you are going to come back to golden age, and we all have to go back now to Paramdham. So when I was hearing that record, I was feeling very happy that it is he who shows you the path, the preceptor. And it is he who inspires you to do things. And it is he who helps you 100 times to make things happen. And it is you who enjoy the fruits of it. It is he who gives you the vardhans, the blessings, and you only have to catch them. So today, on this pious day of Thursday, I wish you all a very, very happy future based on your elevated present. To feel free, that you must have done last Sunday, you had a holiday, or if you have not done it, please do it next Sunday. That give leave to all your weaknesses, if at all any subtle is left out, and keep enjoying the blessings of Baba. And always keep sitting at his heart throne so that you enjoy, make the best use of this life, and you also ensure 100% health, wealth and happiness for the next 20 lives. 21? I will say 21 lives because this is going on and 20 more are ahead. So this is the best chance we have to enjoy a stage of Carefree Emperor in Sangam Yug, and you will continue to be so. In the Golden Age and Silver Age, 2,500 years to come, Rather Baba says 3/4 of the cycle, you will lead a very, very happy life. So wish you all a very bright future based on the brightest present and enjoying sitting at Baba's heart throne and having constantly the feeling of a carefree emperor. Om Shanti.